Hello fellow YouTubers, Tyrant to all here with another gun review. Today I want to do a review on the Kimber Ultra Raptor 2. This is a officer-sized 1911. This particular one comes from the custom shop. It's got a few different features, nice trigger, different stippling. You can see it's kind of like, it looks like scales. I did put the back strap on there from Nighthawk, which kind of matches the scales. These are factory from Kimber, and they have these really nice grips that are like scales, beautiful, call it zebra wood. I'm actually going to change the grips out because I don't want, I've had some wooden grips before, and after you've used the firearm for a while, the sweat and things will wear the finish off, and it's hard to get them to look pristine again. So I'm going to swap these out with the VZ grips, and I'm getting the skeleton grips in zebra, white and black, so it should look pretty nice on this. And keep these just for show and just to have them in good condition. I did a couple things to this before I took it out and fired it, which normally I would fire the gun before I made any changes, but I definitely needed the extended slide release because I have large hands, and on my thumb, I trying to get without turning the gun sideways like that. This makes it much nicer. Now, just for safety reasons, you can see all these firearms here have been safety checked. There's no round in the chamber, no magazines. Just to be safe. So I like this Combat. It's Wilson Combat slide release. It's just right. It's very low profile, but it's right where you need it, and it's right there. You don't have to reach for it or do anything. So that was a really nice upgrade. The other thing I did was the Wilson Combat single-sided low-profile safety, and the reason for that is it had the ambi. It's pretty bulky. I didn't care for it. If I want to carry this concealed carry and such, I want this side to be flush. I don't want it to catch on anything, and nobody's going to be shooting this but me, and I'm a righty, so I have the ambi. If I want to put it back on there, if I sell it, then I will, but that's how I like it. Now, this is not a direct fit. The slide is a direct fit. It'll just pop right in. But the safety, you have to fit it to your, the pin that goes in between the sear and the hammer. It's down to a tolerance. You want your hammer to be really tight. You want when this comes up and engages, it's got a little notch, and it goes between the sear and the hammer, and it's very precise, down to like 1/1000th of an inch. If you get too much play in there, and your safety it could be jeopardized. So if you're not familiar with doing something like that, I would have a gunsmith do it, because this is your safety. So you want to make sure that it all works. And when the safety's up, obviously, if you pull the trigger, nothing's going to happen. When the safety's off, if you pull the trigger, nothing's going to happen. It's locked out unless you depress the grip safety. So there's a lot of redundancy here for safety reasons. That's why when you carry these cocked and locked, they're very safe. People freak out about it, but and then it also has a fire pin safety. And this one utilizes the Swartz system, which is really nice because there's 3 different versions. You can get them like the Series 70s. Like this Springfield over here, for instance, has no fire pin safety at all. But the series, that's the Series 70. Then the Series 80 uses this real, it's got linkages, and it's tied into the trigger, and a lot of people don't like them. Most people say they don't really notice any difference, but there are moving parts that can get dirty, and it can affect your trigger. Whereas the Swartz system, all it uses is the grip safety, and it's got there's a little plunger underneath here that it pushes up, and it unlocks the the capture that captures and traps the pin so that it can't strike the primer and have a negligent discharge, you know, if you dropped it on the ground or something like that. This is so once this gets depressed, it negates that. So other than that, you know, when I was looking to purchase this, you know, there's a lot of bad, I don't know bad, but there's a lot of good, and everybody loves 1911s or they hate them, or you know, Kimber came up a lot with being finicky, you know, failures to feed, failures to eject. You know, there's just so much information out there on the internet that you really got to look at your source. And if you're listening to like reviews where people actually have the gun, the firearm, and they've used it, that's probably a pretty credible review. Like Hitcock 45 does some good reviews, and you see he actually has the firearm. If you go into a blog and you just see people poking in on these blogs saying, oh, those are terrible, they suck, you know, they may be a Glock fan, and good for them, you know, I'm a Glock fan too. But it doesn't mean you need to bash everything, or maybe make an opinion that you've never actually put the firearm in your hand. It's just you're basing it off of other things, and it spreads like wildfire. So you know, I feel bad for some of the manufacturers that can get bad raps. I mean, this car PM9, when I've done a review on this, and when I was looking at this, I mean, there's people going, oh, this thing's jam, and all kinds of stuff. I've never had one failure to feed or extract with this gun. It's been flawless, and I put at least 2,000 rounds through it. So, and that's with reloads and everything. And that's phenomenal, because I can't say that about a lot of firearms. Even revolvers I've had trouble with that. Nothing. And you know, revolvers are supposed to be the most reliable there is. So you know, in concealed carry, you're looking at a couple things, and I don't want to get into. I mean, you can go out there and see the debates between 9mm and 45 ACP, and the reason why 9mm is better than 45 ACP for personal protection. And you know, you'll see all kinds of arguments about that. It'll go on and on and on and on. You know, one of the claims is that, like with a 9mm, you get higher capacity. Well, if they were full frame guns, yeah, I would say that's the case, because you know, you can get a double stack and 16, 17 rounds, so you get more rounds to put on target and less recoil. Well, you know, shot placement being number one, of course, that's the number one factor. So with these two, very similar. You can see size. They're, you know, pretty close. I'm not going to do an exact measurement. If you compared these two straight across, you could see here the turn the scale on here, that with the magazine in the car, this weighs 17 ounces, 1 pound, 1 ounce. Super lightweight, super compact, very thin, single stack. And then with the magazine in the 1911, the Kimber, it's 26.4 ounces. So that's 10.4 ounces heavier. So what I noticed is, you know, I shoot 124 grain out of the car, and I shoot 230 grain out of the Kimber. Because of the larger grip and the way I can purchase this for my hands, it just you can get a nice two hand grip on it, versus, you know, this guy, which, you know, I can still get a good grip on it. It's smaller. This being so much lighter, and the way that the slide, and I think the gun's design, and the higher pressure of the 9mm gives you a much snappier recoil, and it's considerable. Whereas this one, the 45, with the weight of the slide and the ergonomics of the gun and the size of the grip, I don't feel like it's giving, and it's a lower pressure round, so it doesn't have such a violent pop to it, that it feels a little more comfortable, and I can put it on target quicker than I can with follow-up shots with the car. But these are both small guns, so I'm not comparing full-size frame guns to each other. So with that being said, either one of these are going to be pretty close to follow-up shots, and of course, shot placement being the number one thing, you still have the 45 ACP working for you, so you might get away with a little, I don't know, some more stopping power, they say, but I'm not going to go again into that. But I can tell you that the Kimber is a tack driver. I can just put the rounds right on top of each other. They're very, very consistent, very easy. This is the first time out. I shot 369 rounds. I counted my brass when I got back, and not a single malfunction, by the way. These are the kind of groups I was getting out of a 7-shot. Actually, that one was more than 7 shots. But this was actually from a different target. But there's that one. This one was pretty good. That was pretty good, just punching holes. And this was at 10 yards, so wasn't a super long distance, but it wasn't, it was 10 yards is still pretty decent for one of these 3-inch barrel guns. So yeah, I don't know where the claims are from the failures to feed and the reliability, because I was expecting. I mean, this thing was so dirty you couldn't even see any the barrel or anything. The chamber, it was just caked. I thought, well, if I get it dirty enough, it should malfunction, and it never did. And it didn't even malfunction with the magazine that it came with, which is what I thought would happen, because I got the Wilson Combats, because I know those work, and I don't know if you can see that. I got 3. This is the box it comes with. But I rotated all the mags, and I kept rotating them as I used them, and they all function perfectly, even the Kimber. So reliability wise, so far, it is great, and that's with my reloads and some factory ammo. But the other thing I wanted to go over was it comes with this, because this is a compact. It has, let me see if I can get this closer. Has this little, it has a heavy spring. This is a bull barrel, so there is no bushing. Like I said, this comes from the custom shop, so it has a really nice trigger, and it's got a little more work done to it than the normal ones. There is this little hole here, so they give you this tool, and you stick this. You're supposed to see. It's already showing. It's well, I don't like it. You're supposed to put that through that little rod there, and then when you let the slide forward, it holds the spring together, because this is a really tight spring, and you need to do that to break it down. But they could have come up with something better than this. I mean, like, you're not going to lose this. Look at this thing. Anyway, so what I did, I took a Bic pen, and I took the outer casing of it, and I cut it to a specific length and made a channel, put this little lanyard on there. So now what you do is, when it's in this position, locked back, you can just snap that in place, take it off of the slide lock. You can see the spring's now captured. Bring it back to the breakdown notch. Remove your pin. Disassemble like you normally would. 1911. There is your slide release there. I mean, your firing pin safety plunger. It's right there. I don't know if you can see that. That's for the system I was telling you about. So this will come out now, and you can remove that little piece now if you want, and the barrel comes out the front just like all 1911s. I'm not going to break it all down here, because you probably know how to do a 1911. And then you would just put this back in place. Now I could, like I said, I can remove this and take the springs and the guide rod apart if I want to clean that further, and it's real easy now that it's the gun's part. So to reassemble, you'd have that piece back on there. Now the grip safety will actuate that that right there, the little Schwartz system, if you try to slide the slide on. So you want to keep your hand off of the grip safety when you're reassembling this. Make sure that your barrel is in battery. And generally I let gravity take its course here, and I give it a little pop like that. That aligns the link up real nicely, so you can come in. And of course, this is where all 1911s, you 1911 owners know, you want to be real careful when you bring this in so you don't scratch your frame. And you're going to take it down to your takedown notch, push your pin in, and then what I do is take it back, lock the slide back, and now this little piece I made just pops right out, and you're back in business. So this makes it much easier. It's plastic, it's not going to damage anything on the gun. Super easy to make, so hopefully that helps. Reliability is good so far. I love it. The gun just feels so nice, like a Cadillac really when you're shooting it. It's just very, very nice. It comes with these the night sights. They're the MH3 Metro Dot, made by True Dot. I think they're called Metro Dots. Yeah. Great sights. I mean, at night they light up like there's a battery in there. It's just beautiful. The gun, just the balance, the way it feels, it's really nice. I actually like it a lot. So the other thing that I wanted to cover is with these 3-inch barrels, you can see like this is a full-size 5-inch barrel, 1911, and that's what most ammo is designed for. There is a website, it's called Lucky Gunner. So if you're looking for some defensive ammo, you gotta be careful, because these 3-inch barrels, you lose some velocity, and hollow points may not open up properly. So these are very effective with just ball ammo, which the gun was designed for, military 230 grain ball ammo traveling about 850 feet per second, full metal jacket, and that will go through barriers. It will go through, it'll give you proper penetration. And generally they don't over penetrate because the bullet's so large, even if it's a full metal jacket. It's not going to get any smaller. It's going to be 0.45. So, but with that being said, they do. Lucky Gunner does a bunch of ammo testing, and what I've discovered is gold dots are the best for this size 1911. These are some of the 230 grains that they tested using fleece, denim, and several layers of cotton and denim, I believe, and ballistic gel to the FBI standard of 12 to 18 inches of penetration. They do extensive testing. Go to the website, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can see the actual video footage of the shots being fired. With everything that I did research on their website, came up with, is that the gold dot expands at a lot lower velocity, which is good for this firearm. At 750 feet per second, it's expanding to what I just showed you at 0.71 inches and getting around 13 inches of penetration, which is kind of on the bottom end of the penetration scale. But go through their data and look at it. So what I did was I bought Spear gold dots, and I reloaded several of them, and I took them to the range with different powders and recipes. And what I came up with, this, I don't mind sharing this because this is actually from Spear's website. This is a published load, and it's the Alliant Unique, and I started at the 5.4 and I worked my way up. It took me the max charge 6.0. They're stating 912 here, but that's out of a full frame, full size. And I got a median of 850 feet per second, and that is for the gold dot. You can see right here. This is a published load, and I got this to average 850 feet per second. Now you can see 750 did pretty good with those gold dots, so another 100 feet per second could only make it better, probably get better penetration. I don't have ballistics gel to test that with, but 100 feet per second, significant. So it's probably going to split the difference. Anyway, I think that's a really good round. I used that data to just get in the ballpark, so I didn't have to go buy a bunch of ammo. I just reloaded. So I'm probably going to go buy some gold dots, factory loaded ammo, and try it out, because I don't recommend using reloads for self-defense. You can get yourself in a little bit of a pickle with lawyers. You know, there's been several cases. It's like, oh, we made some ammo that was super lethal and he meant to kill people. Yeah, it's our fault that people try to kill us and we protect ourselves, but apparently it is. So you need to make sure that you keep yourself safe and get your ass covered, and just use, I only carry factory loaded ammunition. But knowing that the gold dot performs like this, I can now go, there's several manufacturers that load gold dots, find the one that falls into that, because it cycles and feeds perfectly in this, so that's what I like. So anyway, with that being said, that's a good load to start with, and you can get the velocity out of these. You know, the regular 1911 was never designed to go above 850. The ball load is 850, so you're getting it out of that. So that's a great achievement. Like I said, I showed you the accuracy. It's very accurate, and I find it to be a superb firearm so far. I like the lightweight. There's many manufacturers out there. You know, you can get Rock Island and Springfield. They all make an officer size tactical version. They got some have rails. There's all kinds of different price points. This one's considerably expensive. There are a lot more expensive ones like Nighthawk or you know, Dan Wesson's the Wilson Combat. You know, they make some really high-end ones, so you can go that direction too. But these are high quality firearms. And anyway, I wanted to pay that information forward just in case anybody has any questions, or you know, not sure if it's these firearms are any good, or they're just going to jam on you or malfunction. You know, use credible resources when you're making that decision. Don't just believe everything that you read on the internet. You can find anything you want on the internet, good or bad. So, I mean, it is a great resource. You just got to know how to use it properly, and always go to a known, trusted source, someone that's credible, before you make a decision, because that's going to be the bottom line. Hopefully, it's been informational for you. I'm looking in the future to do more videos. I've just kind of gotten started with this. I've only done a few, so I might do some reloading videos. I like to see more people out there reloading now that the ammunition issue that's in some states where you have to do background checks and register and all that, and you can't order ammunition online. Reloading actually is probably becoming a lot more popular. So anyway, hope all this has been helpful. Be safe out there, and be sure to if you're not an NRA member, to be an NRA, to go sign up, get a membership, support them. They're fighting for our Second Amendment rights. You should be out there fighting for your Second Amendment rights to vote and keep our freedoms alive. Take care.